My name is Amarildo. I am an Albanian student who lives in Istanbul, Turkey. I came for the first time in Turkey 5 years ago to study high school.
My name is Kevi, I come from Albania and I study in Turkey. I came here 5 years ago from Albania, and if you know Albania, almost like 40 or 50 years ago it was a communist country.
After Second World War, communism came in Albania and a lot of things changed. In 1970s approximately, we disconnected from the world because of our dictator. We were isolated, we became first isolated and atheist country in the world. We prohibited religion in our country.
Like Islam and Christianity, they banned all the religions just because they were the freedom talkers. Like they used to be against the communism, and when they made this approach, they just banned them and executed all the great leaders of, for example, Christianity or Islam.
There were until 1990s, like 30 years or 20 years, there were a lot of struggling for Muslims back then, because they, first of all, when they closed the religion in Albania, when they prohibited the religion, they went to all the big imams, they closed all the mosques, they destroyed most of the mosques in the country, the communism regime, and after that most of the big imams or hoja who are in our country, they got killed or slaughtered. Also their families got prohibited or they were sent to prison. Because of that, there was a lot of fear in that time, and a lot of people, they had to distance themselves from religion. Some of them distanced themselves from the religion and their families to protect their families. Some other ones, they were forced to, or they were killed.
For example, my grandfathers and all the grandfathers before them were imams. I just know from my father, because I never met my grandfather actually, that he used to say that his father used to pray and make all the ibadat in his house, because if he get out of his house, they will get executed by the communists. Because of this, he didn't have the chance, my grandfather didn't have the chance also to talk about Islam to his children. For example, my father, he says that he is a Muslim, but he actually doesn't know anything about it. He just knows some words. For example, he knows how to say Bismillah, but he doesn't know anything about the prayers, he doesn't know anything about fasting and the other things of Islam. So because of this, I didn't also learn anything from him. So the generations didn't continue, the Islam didn't continue, and it's actually sadly.
And for example, during Ramadan time, they would go to every school teachers, they would take glasses of water and force children to drink it just to break the Ramadan fasting. Or there would be children who wouldn't drink it, they would say, for example, I am fasting, and they would be caught immediately, their families would be caught immediately, and they would get killed, for example, in these times. That's why during the years that passed, for example, inside the first 10 years, most of Albania's population became atheist. There were only a few of them who hid Islam and who struggled a lot to protect it. And after communism was gone in 2000s, and after it, 2010, even now in Albania there are a lot of Muslims. 80% of the population is Muslim, but the only problem is that we don't know a lot about our religion. For example, we are Muslim, but we don't know anything. We don't know how to pray, we don't know how to fast, or we would just see the news and say, oh, our religion is a terrorism religion.
So I grew up with an ideology, a bad ideology of Islam. So if we enter Islam, or if we practice, for example, prayers or fasting and everything else of Islam, we will just get back to the past, and we'll be this will be like the people of the past, and they don't know anything about the civilization and everything else. So this ideology was in Albania after the communist time. But after the communism fell, actually many students were eager to go to other countries just to study, because in Albania there was not anything to do anymore. It had many 20 or something or 30 years that it wasn't allied with any other countries.
Thanks God, most of students who go to study in Islamic countries, like me for example, we went abroad and we just so that we learned more about religion, and we went back to Albania. A lot of students have gone back to Albania, and they've grown up and they have opened a lot of organizations in there.
For example, when I go back to home, they see that I pray, and they actually are interested in it. They ask questions about Islam and how I live here, and how do I pray, and all the other things about Islam. In the beginning, they were a bit like, don't enter too much deep because of the ideology of the communism, you know? Don't enter too much deep because you get lost, or you get not uncivilized in some way. But after that, they came to know that it was totally different, actually. Like, gradually they're changing their ideology.
Right now the number of Muslims in Albania is growing, thanks God, Alhamdulillah, and there are more and more people who go to mosques every day. There are more and more people who pray Jummah. There are a lot of more people who right now are fasting Ramadan, and Albania, slowly, our religion, the Islam in Albania, that peaceful religion, is still growing right now, and people are coming to realize that they're back, what our ancestors had and struggled to protect so much. Right now it's coming back to us, thanks to them, and it's being really good. People are changing right now, and they are seeing Islam as their real religion, and they are even telling to the others. And right now it's a really peaceful time, and inshallah, it will, our Muslim number in Albania and people who know more about Islam, it will grow even more. Something that I see a lot is, for example, like in Arabian countries, or even in Turkey, even us, for example, we take everything for granted. We are eating a lot of kinds of foods, for example, in Ramadan, or for example, because we are free, we have no struggles. We are just doing like, oh my God, it's sahur time, or it's iftar time. Oh, I need to prepare food. Oh, who is going to pray tarawih, or stuff like that. And we take these things for granted, or we think like we are getting lazy, I guess. And when I just think of our ancestors back then in Albania, how much they struggled, they risked their life for Islam, for Allah. So, and we are acting like that. I think this is not an appropriate way to act, for example. Or there are people, Muslims in Africa, or in Pakistan, or in other countries, who they are just, I've seen some stories, they just eat one kind of food, only sometimes even bread and tea. But we have, alhamdulillah, we have our dinner, and everything is full of all kind of delicious foods, and we need to thank Allah for this, and we need to make more ibadat to Allah, make more dua, pray even more, and like learn a lot more about our religion, and don't get lazy, but work harder and try harder for Islam. Just ibadat and dua to Allah.
There are a lot of things that we still don't know. Learn more about Islam, and make others enter Islam. Like try yourselves to make others enter Islam, and be smart on it. Be smart on it, because it's not easy to get them into, and be patient for it, because in the beginning they are not going to change their ideology immediately. They need some time to change and to think and to reflect on it. So just stay with them and show, actually, like, what you live, or how you live is how you make them enter, because they see how you live and what you do, and they will see that Islam is not an extreme thing, or is not a past thing.
Right now we are almost in the middle of Ramadan. For all this Ramadan, or all upcoming Ramadans, for all of you, I wish them a really happy Ramadan, and hopefully a peaceful Ramadan for all of you, and hopefully full of dua and full of ibadat and namaz praying. Thanks everyone for watching.